As we all know, Neuvillette is on a mission to take down the heavenly principles, a mission to take down the one he calls the usurper king, the master of the four shades, the one who sits on the highest throne of them all, more simply, Phanes. However, don't you guys think this is a little hypocritical? Let me show you what I mean. I'm gonna, here, just watch this video.
If you too find yourself subject to grave injustice, guilty, yet bound by rules that are twisted and warped, the rules of the court must be upheld. You must be willing to step up and right those wrongs. If you cannot break free from the eggshell, the world is not but a prison where you are blinded and confined.
Interesting, huh? So what Neuvillette is saying is rules for thee, but not for me. Unless, of course, it's all about power. But if it were all about power, then the sovereigns wouldn't have a leg to stand on now, would they? But I digress. It's an interesting contrast, Neuvillette's upholding a corrupt and inherently unjust system on the basis that the rules of the courtroom must be upheld, whilst constantly bitching about the larger corrupt and inherently unjust system. It actually is kind of funny. Childe, who, like Neuvillette's, had a grave injustice committed against him, with the oratories falsely finding him guilty, attempted to step up and right those wrongs. Just like Neuvillette said, he attempted to break free from the courtroom, but was then put down by brute force in a way that Stalin would praise, and would later find himself in a prison blinded and confined. There is no means by which Childe had a direct, or hell, even indirect connection to the serial missing women's disappearance case. And the fact that there was even a trial for him, Linny, or Lynette is absurd. My nigga, the first woman went missing 20 years ago. These three are like, let me wager, guys, 20 years old? How they were ever put on trial, and our first argument as lawyer wasn't simply, bro, y'all are about the biggest group of dumb fucks we have ever seen traveling the continent thus far, is completely beyond me. And as for the argument that Childe inadvertently raised the primordial seawater skies, Childe did this when he fell into the abyss when he was like, what, 14? Marcel already had access to the primordial sea for his experiments well before Childe came along and awoke the whale. Even after the case, Neuvillette tells us he really doesn't know if Childe was found guilty by proxy, which we just went over shouldn't have even been possible.
As for the judgment passed by the oratories during the trial, whether it was due to that liability by association, or Focalors deliberately using him to buy time for us on the assumption that he would be able to hold the creature off, I cannot say.
Or if Focalors just decided to find him guilty to give the gang time to deal with the prophecy. But either way, this is gross negligence bordering on injustice, or it's just plain injustice on Focalors' part. And the way this corrupt system was upheld? Power. Childe tried to fight the good fight, resist the injustice, and was put down like a dirty dog by a being much stronger than he was. And you know what the best part is? How much you guys want to bet the next time we meet Childe, he's not gonna bitch, he's not gonna cry, hey, such is life. That's all he's gonna say, such is life. He's gonna take the L, move on, or hell, even just try and challenge him again. The sovereigns lost to Phanes, and I thought you so beyond this guy. You sad bunch of baby back bitches. Regardless, what happened to Childe was a true injustice, very similar to the sort Neuvillette heavily implies was committed against him and the dragons. However, he played a part in upholding that system and used force to do so. Some might even say he sustained them. So how would this make him any different than the extremely sexually attractive sustainer of heavenly principles, who, like him, used force to stop those weaker than her from treading on the rules established by the heavenly principles? Replace Childe with Nibelung and Neuvillette with Phanes, and we have a pretty clear picture of what happened all those years ago. We've already delved into the bizarre nature of Neuvillette's goals, which is for every species to coexist with one another, as if that isn't currently happening right now. He speaks as if the dragon race is some persecuted race that are being hunted down in all the corners of this world, when this quite literally could not be further from the truth. In Mondstadt, they worship a dragon. In Liyue, their god assumed a dragon form, and Natlan is what he himself calls a nation of dragons. So I ask, are these persecuted dragons in the room with us? These boys they're living the good life right now, and Neuvillette wants to kickstart a war that could tear that all down. He wants blood for something that was settled thousands of years ago, even when said line of thinking is marred with hypocrisy and incongruity. The fact of the matter is, the dragon race was treated with the utmost care by the heavenly principles. Thanes arrived onto this world, and two things happened. Either Thanes immediately chose to fight following his announcement that this world is now its for the purpose of creating humanity, or Thanes announced his plans, the sovereigns decided they weren't rocking with it, fought him, lost, outnumbered by the way, home court advantage by the way, and still lost. Either way, it seems like they had a fair enough warning, barring a third mysterious scenario where Thanes quite literally senton dove this planet like Jeff Hardy from the stratosphere and caught the dragons by surprise, in which case, well played to Thanes, strike while the iron's hot and give the enemy no time to gather. Jokes aside, while I recognize this world was once the dragons alone and Neuvillette might feel some kind of way about this world now being run by someone else, ultimately, if his vision of the world is everyone coexisting peacefully, then why go for the war? Once again, it's happening right now. Just be honest about your intentions, Neuvillette. This is not about rectifying the wrongdoings of the past, it's about your need for blood. You are no different than that bastard crackhead Dragon King Nibelung and are willing to risk the planet in an attempt to get one last lick in on the heavenly principles. You have the audacity to sit here and judge others for their actions when you yourself are motivated by a personal need for vengeance that not even the other sovereigns seem interested in chasing. Neuvillette cannot be representative of the entire dragon race because an individual just isn't capable of that. So far, we have one sovereign who's okay with the status quo.
However, what I feel now is a feeling that has long eluded me. The feeling of peace. Although my hatred for that usurper from beyond the heavens still stirs deep within me, destroying you and your people serves me no purpose. Be that as it may, my position still stands, and I will have nothing to do with you. When you inevitably perish due to your ever-expanding curiosity, I will still sneer and mock you in my heart.
And another who seeks to alter it, given he himself was not personally involved in the war against the heavenly principles all those years ago, what gives him the right then to go around judging people? Once again, it's power. He had no intention, so far as we know, of judging anyone before he regained his authority, but once he got his power back, now he decides to go and enact Judgment Day for all of Teyvat. No one gave him the right, he took it. Just like how Thanes took the right to terraform Teyvat for humanity. Blessed be our founding father, Thanes, a truly benevolent deity. Ultimately, I need not worry, given one measly sovereign won't be capable of much on its own, despite the blood-soaked rhetoric spewing from its mouth. To Neuvillette, it seems as if he has taken great issue not with how the world has been set up, but rather who set up the world. This is a personal issue that will result in him one day being reminded that he is nothing but an overgrown lizard.